to Electrosound.tv. Thank you, Mr. John Acquaviva, for coming here to our city, to Berlin. We are very proud to welcome you at Electrosound.tv.
My pleasure. Always fun to be in Berlin. So any opportunity for a party, Monday night at 6 o'clock, and you saw the people coming in with the alcohol, Berlin is the city.
John, what was your intention to launch Beatport.com?
The Beatport was really an extension of just over 10 years ago when we, along with Richie Houghton, we always believed in technology. We made techno music, and we got involved in the Final Scratch technology, which allowed, and today you see it, it's like an interface party with all the cables and the computers and the audio boxes. You know, when we took DJing into laptops and digital with the Final Scratch technology, there was a need for DJs to find their music on the internet. And to be correct, you know, I mean, to be correct, to have a proper shop, and Beatport was that vision.
Okay. You are releasing at so many labels. Do you have a favorite one?
Well, yeah, my favorite one is really the one I do, Definitive. So we have a lot of friends, and I think the music community, we all release with each other, you know, remix for each other. But then for the people who've been doing it longer, you have your own label. So that's really like your family. So your own label is always the most special.
What is your opinion about digital mixing and producing? Do you think earning money was more comfortable in the past?
That's a good question. I don't think anyone's ever asked it that way, but everyone says how, well, it's funny. I think the old people say how in the past it was easier. But in the past, there was only a few people who were having success. I mean, less people. So for the old people now, there's young people, and it's more complicated. It's more difficult. But I'm an old guy, and I enjoy the new situation. I enjoy the digital generation that we have now. I think with software and just the whole digital revolution in the last 10 years, it is more easy to make music. So I think even though it's easy, I think people still have to have a responsibility to do a good job. So some people, you know, push a button and say they're a DJ. I think you need to learn a lot about your culture, but I'm happy that more people are able to make electronic music. A long time ago, old people would dream of buying a guitar and making a band and playing in a bar with a band, you know, drums, guitar. But now with the digital generation, it's about buying software and making electronic music and playing at a party, in a small party, you know, in a industrial building in Berlin on a Monday, or on the weekend at a big club or a festival. So I think this is really good for the young people. So it was easier for the successful people a long time ago, but now it's good for everyone.
Okay, in this way we would like to thank Alexandra from Belgrade to organize that here.
Yes. A big hello to Alex, wish you were here, and thanks for organizing, introducing me to your friends in Berlin, and having set up a nice day.
Thank you. How many weeks a year are you on tour?
The last 2 years I've slowed down because I love touring, but I also need to find a balance with my private life and my friends. So I'm probably on tour 60% of the time. But for 20 years I was on tour making, you know, 120 parties a year, which is intense.
That's right. You are a very famous house and DJ producer. How has these changes affected to your life?
That's a good question too. I think I'm still the same. I think I'm still the same person I was, but I think maybe one of the best things, I can go to a restaurant and whatever food I want, I never have to worry about the price. So I can eat what I want at a restaurant and drink what I want. That's that's okay.
That's fine.
It's the reward for success.
That's true. What do you see in the future? Your label, goals, wishes, appreciations?
Well, you know, if you asked me this question 10 years ago, what do I see in the future? I would say that the future would be more digital, and people used to think I was crazy. So I would kind of answer the same. I think the future is more digital. I think we're going to find new ways to make music, to live, to just, digital things will permeate our culture. So the future will be digital, and now it sounds like an easy answer.
Berlin, how many times did you visit our great city? More than 100 times?
Let's do the math. I probably come on average 4 or 5 times a year. I've been coming for 20 years. Yeah, about 100 times or more.
Will there be in the future more projects with Richie Horton again?
That's a good question too. People always ask what our relationship is, and our relationship is wonderful. It's actually when we stopped the label officially, because all we did was one thing together 10 years ago. And when we stopped doing the label together, people thought we stopped. But in the last 10 years, we've done more things than ever. And most of it's private, because musically we have our own labels. It's sort of like our own family, and then we have our own artists, and our artists are like our children. So we, in public, seem to be apart, but we do a lot of projects. The first project was Final Scratch. He was involved in Beatport. So we work closely on some things, then we do something separately. So that's kind of cool. And in fact, I brought some guests. One of the recent projects, you know, we're always busy, but last year I get a phone call from Richie, and he's like, "Hey John, I'm preparing my Plastic Man live show, and I just wanted to tell you a couple things." And he was explaining to me what was going on. He had an army of people, of course, working on the show, and it was a brilliant show. If anyone, not if anyone, a lot of people have seen it. If you haven't seen it, you got to see it. It was a brilliant show, and he really had an army of people, and he did some really cutting-edge stuff with wireless technology, using iPads when they first came out. And so I brought a couple of our friends and partners. We came together. Richie's like, "John, I'm busy, I need help, let's do another project." And he actually was talking to a couple people that I knew already. So I've got Gareth, who I've known for a good 5-6 years. I keep seeing him because he's also a technology guy, and another friend of ours who's not here, Nick, and then Etienne, who I met just last year. So we got together to do this. First project was Grid, helping Richie get his live show together. But I brought them along, and we'll talk more. I think what we're going to do is maybe do a little DJ set with an iPad when we were talking about the future. This is kind of cool. So we're going to maybe segue this interview into a new. You know what? I think I'm just going to take over the show for 10-15 minutes. Even though I'm going to be a rude guest. I'm just taking over. I'm going to be a digital terrorist, and I'm going to do what I want for 15 minutes. So I'm not going to answer any more questions. I'm sorry. I quit. I quit. And so anyways, yeah. So Richie calls me last year, and he's like, "John, you got to see what's going on. I'm doing this live show." I'm like, "Oh, Richie, you're always full of crazy projects, but always good ones, of course." So I'm like, I know half of these people, So anyways, Gareth, who I've known forever, got together with a couple of his friends. Nick, we have Etienne here, in the red shirt and the cool grid shirt, and so when anyone saw Richie doing, there's a whole bunch of YouTube things of him doing his show live. He was doing some parts of it on the iPad, and the core of that was with some of the stuff these guys have designed. In the past year, they've gone on to design a thing called Remix. So I'm very happy as an artist to have my own Remix application. But the first Remix application was Plastic Man. So we're going to start. I'm going to introduce you guys to Gareth. Gareth, hello.
Hey John, how are you?
Welcome to Berlin. Well, he lives here, so it's not a welcome to Berlin. I'm the tourist. And he's going to do a little. I was thinking I was going to go like this. But I can't talk to the application. But on iTunes, Richie was the very first person, and he's often the first person to do things, to have a Remix app. It's available on iTunes. And so what Gareth has done and maybe I'll let him talk later, but right now I'm hijacking the show, so it's my show right now, so I'm not going to let you talk. For 10 minutes of fame, 15 minutes of fame. So we've got 4 channels with a whole bunch of parts. So a lot of people are going to recognize if you're fans of Richie Hott and some Plastic Man tracks. So Gareth is just kind of ad-lib. Give him 4 or 5 minutes, and then I'll interview Gareth a little bit, and then we're going to play mine. I'm going to let Gareth DJ my music, and this is kind of cool because when we're talking about, is it too easy for people to DJ? I think it's cool that people get to play with other people's music and mix and match, because that's our community, sharing. And so Gareth, it's your turn to mix. Everyone, welcome Gareth, Mr. Remixing Plastic Man. Richie's not here. We're going to be hanging out in Barcelona for Sonar, but since he's not here, there we go. Check. Well, Chris, good work on the camera. You're the man. These underground operations mean you do all the work yourself. Gareth, nice mix. And it's funny, we were talking earlier about, 10 years ago, DJs thought it was going to be absolutely crazy bringing a DJ booth into the, a laptop into the DJ booth. And here we are 10 years later, playing on something no one envisioned 10 years ago, you know, an iPad, and yeah, it's amazing sometimes when you think, for those of us who are old, you know, think way back. And Gareth is a pioneer. I saw him. He was involved in the Lemur, the Jazz Mutant sort of projects, and so instead of asking what got you into this, I think we can all agree that all of us at different phases of our life, even you guys, the viewers, like when you first see technology, you're like, wow, and I wish it could do this, and I wish it could do this. And Gareth is a guy, when I met him, and all the guys at Line are like, wow, I wish you can do this, and they actually went and did it. So it's awesome if you know, really, when you believe in something, do it. And so great job, Gareth. So instead of talking about history, we've got a short bit of time. For those of you who don't know, figure it out, look into Remix. They do a product called Grid. That's the sort of live thing. It's an Ableton thing. I think I want to talk more about what are you guys up to, what's going on this summer, you know, where can people see you and get to know more about you, because you can find stuff on the internet historically. So what's next for you after this Berlin Monday night rave?
The next thing is actually a trip to Barcelona for Sonar Festival. So I don't know if any of you guys are going to be there, but we're going to be hosting our first remix rave. So basically people will be able to perform, basically Richie Horton, and maybe John if we can badger him into it.
If, you know, just like today, I was promised some drinks. If you promise me drinks, I will show up at the party.
He'll do anything for a drink. So basically, yeah, we're going to be doing a remix rave. So at the Minus store in Barcelona, I think on the Saturday, basically Rich will be performing a set on his on the Plastic Man remix app, and then people in the audience will be able to sign up and actually have a go themselves. And also, yeah, John will be having a little spin with his remix app, and people can have a go.
Yeah, so a lot of the world's going to be at Sonar for this summer's edition. So if any of you are there, come by and say hi. Minus is doing, I think, some kind of renegade sort of shop. They always do cool things. So again, you know, behind the scenes, well, this time we're going to do something publicly. There's going to be all kinds of people there. And what else is in store for the summer after that?
Well, actually, at Sonar as well, we're also going to be having a little workshop on Capture and Capture Pad and Grid. And actually, I think Ambivalent from Minus is going to be presenting how he uses Line technology for his live set, which is going to be pretty exciting.
Great. Any new products on the horizon? Or, I mean, people are just starting to hear about Remix and Grid. I think those are the core products of the company. What can we expect in the next year? And then I think we'll get back to some music.
Basically, so far, I don't know if you've seen all of the remix apps, but there's actually 5 editions. So the first one was the Plastic Man app, and after that there was a Joris Vaughan version, and it's got Joris's it's got his do you know The Secret by Joris Vaughan? So his massive hit is on there basically. Yeah, it's a killer. So basically you can get the parts of The Secret and mash them together with whatever you want. Also the third app in the series was Dubfire. And actually, the Dubfire app is about to get an update. There's a couple of tricks that a lot of people have been asking for, and we managed to wangle them out of his hands. So that's going to be awesome. So you're going to get all the parts to that as well. And the fourth was Stefan Bodzin and Mark Romboy. They recently did their Lunar live tour, which is actually a really awesome show, which was really using a lot of this new technology. They had the core of their show was 4 iPads, and actually 2 of them were running our technology. So 2 of them were running. Well, actually 3 of them were running our stuff. So we had Grid, Live Control, and Capture Pad, and also some other guys in Berlin who make this really cool, really visual app called Concrete Performer. So that's really killer. And yeah, naturally these guys. Who else could we work with apart from the pioneer of digital technology, John Acquaviva, and his cohort, Olivier Giacomoto. So yeah, thank you.
Well, thanks, and it's a pleasure to work with you. And I just realized how hard it is to do a show, so I have to thank you, Chris. You know, as much as I want to be a terrorist and take control of this show, I'm really tired after working for 10 minutes. So, you know, maybe I was very proud to play. I played mostly a lot of new Definitive stuff. So for those of you guys who heard about me or not following the label, or those of you, I was. Hope you like the Definitive stuff. We got the Definitive Remix app. I'm happy to be a part of such a nice group. You know, the other artists who've done it.
Which you can get right now the iTunes
which you
store
can get on the iTunes store right now. But I know you're making big plans for the year, working with all kinds of people.
There's some killer apps on the way for it this time around.
Excellent. So play a bit more from there. Chris, I'm tired. It's hard work. I respect your effort at the show. Thank you for having me. And I just want to go drink now. I quit. I'm not a terrorist. It's too hard. It's too hard. I quit.
Yeah, nice finish. Yeah, thank you very much, guys. It was a pleasure for me that you are playing here in our studios.
Thank you very much.
Studio, sorry. And yeah, special thanks to John. He's sitting in the backstage. So, Leute, jetzt geht es hier gleich weiter mit Vince Weiss und seinem Bruder, den Alec. Wir haben euch ja versprochen, es bleibt beim regulären Programm auf dem Montagabend. Ihr bekommt auch noch eine Ladung Berlin Fever von uns hier um die Ohren gehauen. Ja, dann würde ich sagen, weiterhin viel Spaß bei uns hier bei Ask Me. Ganz großes Danke an die Crowd von Grid und von der Remix Crew und natürlich an John und natürlich Dankeschön an Alexandra Monster und Claudia und dass Alexandra uns das hier ermöglicht hat, dass John heute hier spielen konnte. Und dann jetzt weiterhin viel Spaß bei Ask Me.